Hi, I'm Camille with the Hedberg Public Library Children's Room. I'm here today for the fourth video in our four-part series, and we are creating a game in Roblox Studio. So today I'm going to share with you a few more ways to make obstacles for your obstacle course. And I'm going to show you how to upload your game to Roblox Studio to share it with your friends and family. And if you do that, I would certainly like to see the game that you've created. So I will talk about that at the end of the video, if you could share that with me. All right, so today we are going to take the obstacle course that we've been working on for 4 weeks and add a few more challenges. So if you want to start from the beginning, we started in video 1 with creating parts in Roblox Studio. Then we put parts together to create models, and we learned where to find some pre-made models in Roblox Studio that people have put out there and shared for us to use. In video number 3, we learned to use the terrain editor so you can create the really cool worlds that you see, the land, the water, the mountains, the caves. So we did that in the last video. And then between the last video and today, I challenged you to make a few different floating islands so that we could then create obstacles to get between them, a big course. So that is what we are going to finish up today. So when I will show you a few new ways to create those challenges, and then at the end, I'm going to share with you my course, and we'll see if I can make it from start to finish. All right, let's get going. All right, so I thought I'd show you right at the beginning what my final obstacle course looks like. So you can see I have a few different islands here. I've got this one at the beginning. This is my starting point. I used terrain to create, a little hill and a grassy area. And then the second floating island I created, if you can tell, let's see if I can zoom a little bit, is an amusement park. And then I created, this is a Pokemon zoo I found in the toolbox. So I didn't create any of this. I searched for zoo. I wanted to have a zoo on my island, and it came up with this Pokemon zoo, and I thought that was kind of fun. So I just placed that on my third island. Then you can see I've got an obstacle. Let's see if I turn it a little bit. You can see it's making noises here. Okay, so I created some balls to cross to get to this island here, which has a really fun pool and water slide. And then my final island has a bounce house with, of course, my M&Ms as the final reward. So I am going to show you how to create a couple of these different obstacle courses. This final one is very fun. You can see it's kind of glowing. These are lava jumps, and I'm going to show you a script that you can add to your program, your studio program, for these particular red blocks to make them kill a player. Okay, they actually become disjointed, they fall apart. So that is one of the new kinds of obstacle courses that or obstacle challenges that we're going to create today. And then another one, let's see if I can zoom in here. We've done things like this, so I'm not going to share with you how to create an obstacle that is just a bunch of parts, because that's what this is, a bunch of spheres, right? I'm going to teach you how to build. Let's see, where did I go? I went to the pool. So this is another one that I'm not going to show you how to do today. These were just steps. I made rainbow steps, and we learned how to create these parts in the first video, and how to change their properties, their colors was also in that first video. This is where I'm taking you, and it's taking me a while to get here. I apologize for that. I'm still learning. These here, the red, white, and blue, this is a walk the plank challenge. So one of these planks is solid and will take you from the amusement park to the Pokemon Zoo, and the other two are not solid, and so once you take a step, you will fall and you will end the game, right? So I will show you how to create that challenge in today's video. So the first thing that I'm going to show you, however, is you will notice that in order for these obstacles to work, you are going to have your islands in certain places, right? Like they're going to be close to each other. They're going to be, you know, at a slight elevation difference if you're going to do something like steps. So I'm going to show you how to move entire islands, okay? So when you have terrain, the first thing I'm going to show you, we did not get to this feature in terrain. When you have terrain, you have to move it in a certain way. And so I'm going to get rid of the toolbox here, and I'm going to view the terrain editor instead. So when you want to move terrain, you're going to go to the region tab and select, and you're going to create a region around your terrain. All right, you can't just select it and click on it and move it. And so sometimes this is tricky because, you know, depending on your perspective, it's hard to see exactly where you're at. So I'm going to move around a little bit to make sure that my entire, you can see I got nothing in the vertical plane here. So let's see if we can make it go down like this. There we go. Let's see if we can look. Have I captured just my terrain? I don't want to move those steps. So we're going to shrink this. We want to get all that terrain. And let's go down. We got it all that way. More than enough, right? And then we got it all this way. All right, so I'm going to then click on move. All right, and now you see it turns white, and I can move it like this. And look, I left out part of the terrain. So I would have to, let's see if we can do Control Z, Command Z, Command Z. It got me back to where I was. We would want to redo that to make sure we got everything. The other thing is the hut didn't move with me because the hut is a model. So that we can easily fix. We can easily move that later. Let's try this again. Let's try select and try and create our terrain. So I said I didn't want to get that part there in my terrain. I guess it does not matter because the parts do not move with the terrain. So we're going to, last time we didn't go around to all four sides, I don't think, to check to make sure everything was included. So let's check here. We've got everything. Do we have everything here? You can see this little part is not included. And we're going to extend it out over the blue step because we'll see what happens if that step moves. Click on move. There. So now I moved everything. So say I wanted to create another step. I could do this. I could move it over. It's probably too low, but say I wanted to create one more step in my obstacle course. I could slide it over a little bit. There's the arrow there. Slide it over a little bit. Let's check it out. That seems like it might be a good distance away to stick in another step there, but we'd have to play around to make sure that that would work. But that is how you move terrain. So if you've created an island that has lots of terrain, to move it, you go into the terrain editor and select, create a box around your terrain, and then move it. All right, so now we'll click off of there. Click back up here, home, selector here. My computer's slow there. And then we could move this model if we wanted to. Make sure that it's, get close enough to make sure that it's laying flat on our ground. Okay. All right, now say you wanted to move these obstacles, these balls that the player is going to jump from to get from one island to another. Say you wanted to move them together as a group. You like how far apart they are from each other, but maybe the whole group of them has to come up a little bit so the player can make this last jump. If you click on one of the parts, hold the shift key down, make sure that you continue to see the boxes around the parts, then right click and group. Now you can move them together like this. And if you go over to the Explorer window, you see you've also created a model, and then you could call these, let's see, we'll call these the ball jump model. Jump model. We're in cap locks mode here. Ball jump model. Right. You can do that with an entire island. Like this Pokemon island is just 2 parts. It is the zoo and the platform. So I could go ahead and group those. And now I can move my entire island up and down. Okay, let me put that back kind of where I had it there. All right. And another way of doing that is if you have an island with lots of little parts, you can put your mouse on the work area like this and draw like a circle around it, and it will highlight. You just have to make sure you're highlighting exactly what you want. Like I wouldn't want this lava block with it, so just make sure that you're highlighting what you want to be grouped. All right, so that's a way that you can group things together to move them so that you can get your islands kind of lined up to create your obstacles. All right, so the first thing we're going to change right now, or I'm going to show you how to do in the game, is show you how to create the walk the plank obstacle. So one thing that I found helpful is for play testing. If you want to play test starting in a different location than the beginning, normally, remember we have this spawn location at the beginning of our game. You can go ahead and delete this. And now I'm going to click on the pool here. You can see it's highlighted here. If I click F, now I'm on this island, and I'm going to go ahead and put in a spawn point right here. I'm going to move it right to where I'm going to place my planks for this challenge. And so I've already created them. These are simply, if you look over here, these are simply parts. And so you can see here, here's the walk the plank model. Here are my 3 parts. I want to show you the properties of these parts. So we're going to go to the View tab and click on Properties. So if I click on part 1, I can see the color is really blue. And I can change that if I want to, right? We'll make it maybe not so really blue. It's cyan now. So if I scroll down to Behavior, I can look and see, okay, the part's anchored. Obviously, it has to be anchored. And the Can Collide is checked. So when Can Collide is checked, is clicked on, that means that a player can walk on it. It means it is a solid part. So we know right now this is the plank that we will want to take to get to the next island. Let's look at part number 2. Color is really red. Can Collide is off. So that means the parts cannot collide. Collide meaning bump into each other. They'll pass right through each other. So an avatar, a character, will just pass right through that plank. Let's look at the third one. Third part, same thing. Let's click on Behavior. There we go, Behavior. Also, it looks like Can Collide. Oh, we're back on, let's see, are we on part? It went back to part 1, part 2, part 3. Lily White. Can Collide is checked. So we should be able to walk across that one too. So let's go ahead and play. So we've got 2 ways across with this one. Only one of them is going to end up in killing the player. So let's go ahead and play test it. So we see we have right here, go back to home, we have a spawn point. So let's go ahead and play. All right, let's find our planks. All right, which one should we try? Let's try the blue one, because we said we should be able to walk across, right? There we go. Should we try and jump over to the red one? Let's see if it's close enough to jump. Well, okay, I didn't jump. We'll try doing it the normal way. We'll try walking on the red plank and see if we fall. Around, find our planks. Let's just do it right like that, straight. Woo! So can Clyde was unchecked there. Let's try the blue. So can Clyde was checked, right? So let's see. We would anticipate, oh no, not blue. We need to try white. And we can get across. All right, so that is another fun obstacle. You can make it harder by making two planks that are not able to be crossed and one plank that is, or like in this case, I made it a little bit easier. 2 planks were good to cross on and 1 plank was not. So that's the walk the plank challenge. All right, so the next new obstacle challenge that I'm going to show you how to make, you can see it again glowing red over here. This is a good picture of my entire obstacle course. You can see these red hot lava jumps. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go over to my pool island here. And I will show you how I created these lava jumps. So I'm going to show you here, you can see it's an actual plank that goes from one island to the next. So these 2 islands were completely level. And I just made a rectangular plank. And then each of these parts, each of these lava jumps that the player is going to jump over is just a rectangular part, okay? And so again, I would do this. I would create a rectangular part, get it to the right size, something that the player could jump over, that spanned the width of my plank so the player couldn't walk around it. And then, let's see if we go over. We can look at the properties over here, really red. I made it, the material I made neon because that's kind of shiny. And then if you look at lava jump, it actually has a script. So I'm going to double click on that and pull up the script for us to read. Now it might be a little small for you to see here on the screen. I'm going to include this script in the information under the YouTube video. So it is a script that you will have to copy exactly. And it is a script that uses a function called hit. And when the avatar hits any of those red blocks, the script is associated with the block. So when you duplicate, you can put the script in the block and then duplicate it. That script will follow the duplication and you'll have the same script with each block. When the player, and that's what this humanoid identifies a player, an avatar, then it falls apart, right? So break joints. So I'm going to, like I said, include the script in the Roblox or in the YouTube video description. And when I do this video, I will try and zoom in a little bit so that you can copy this script exactly, and make sure that it looks the same. If you miss a parenthesis or spell something wrong, it won't work. So and it's a good idea when you find a script like this that you like, you can copy and paste it into a Word document, or you can write it down even, so that you can save it for later if you would like to try and use this with another part in another game. All right, so you can just X out of that script. And so, like I said, I would create one, and then if I right click, I can duplicate and then, you know, slide it over and place it. I don't want another one of those, so I will just hit backspace and delete it. All right, so that is how we get from the pool and water slide to the final island. And I'm going to show you something else kind of fun about my final island here. I'm going to show you this bounce house. I guess maybe I'll show it to you. I'll get my avatar and we'll play test and we'll get, well, let's do it right now. I've decided. I'm going to do it now. I'm going to put in a spawn point right here because I want to show you my bounce house. All right, so I took the shortcut, right? Bypassed everything. And let's see, is there an opening? Yes, there is an opening for the bounce house. I'm going to climb right up. All right, need to move over. Now watch this. When I jump here on the pad of the bounce house, look how far I jump up. All right, and I can show you that is different than, let's see if we climb up onto, oh, look at that. I kind of walked through it. Look at that, I'm stepping in a mushy ice cream sandwich. Let's jump up onto the donut. Let's try jumping on the donut. Nothing too exciting, right? But when I go over to this bounce house pad, look at that. So there's a script. We're gonna look at this, all right? Let's stop testing. I wanna show you an example of another script that I copied from this. Stop here. And I'm going to click on this. This is the model. And we'll scroll down in here. If we click on jump pad. Let's see. I think we'll have to go one more level and jump out. Yep, bounce script. Do not delete. All right, so let's click on that script and look at it here. So this is kind of fun. This is by Roblox Gaming Studios. And we can just copy this script for creating something that is very bouncy. I was thinking about maybe we learned how to make a chair or a couch in our model lesson. I was thinking about taking this script and placing it in the seat of the chair so that my avatar could jump on it. You could make a bed, you could make anything that you wanted to bounce on. So that was what I wanted to show you, how it's fun to find fun things in the toolbox, and some of them you can actually break down and analyze the script. Some of them you can't do that. Some of them you can't break down all these individual parts and pieces to find the code that you're looking for. It's just not as straightforward, but this one was, and I thought that was very fun. All right, I'm gonna play my game, so I thought you might enjoy watching me navigate my way through Roblox. If you wanted to see some of the fun models that I found in the toolbox, like the swimming pool and the amusement park rides, you can go ahead and watch. I'm still not the greatest Roblox player, but I sure do have fun trying to make the jumps and find my way through the different obstacles. So here goes. as you can see, I didn't make it all the way to the end in my gameplay, but I'm going to keep trying. The one last thing I did want to share with you, and I believe I may have shared this in another video, but it's very simple to make your game public for others to be able to play. So remember, it's always a good idea to save your game as you're working, and I was not very good at showing you that as I was working, but if you just go under File, Save to Roblox, that saves your game as you're working, and I can go ahead and I can close the file. And this is my game right here. If I click on these three dots, you can see I already had changed it to public, but if you click here, you can make private, and it says it'll shut down all running servers, but that's okay. And then I can just as easily make it public, and when it's public, that means anybody can play. All right, go ahead and click on this. And if I click on here in game settings, I can also get to permissions, and here, who can play this game, friends, public, or private, just as easily change it that way, okay? All right, thanks very much for joining me for our 4-part video series on creating games in Roblox Studio. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned a little bit of something. I learned quite a bit about Roblox the game and about creating games in Roblox, and I had a lot of fun doing so, and I hope you did too. All right, thank you. Bye-bye.